Hello guys, how you doing? I'm gonna make a video and I think I want to tell a story. And I'm in the mood for a story time, you know? Let me think of a story though, cause I have an idea, but let me think fully of the story and then let me see if it's doable. I'm gonna tell you the first time I ever went into psychosis, but I'm only gonna tell you the first bit before I went into the hospital. But I'll tell you like the emergency room bit as well. Anyways, okay, so this happened when I had to have been 16 when the first time I went into psychosis. I want to say I was 16. This is coffee. This is really good coffee. Anyways, I am gonna incriminate myself a little bit in this story as well, but I had been at school, I'm not gonna name the school, and I was with people, not gonna name the people either, but we were partaking in some drugas, and and at this time, let me mind you that while I was partaking in these drugas, this is the day I went crazy, right? The day I went crazy, I had not been sleeping previously for 3 days, and I had not been eating previously for 3 days, and not been doing anything for 3 days except for going home and going back to school. So I was a mess. I was a complete mess. And I remember, I smoked a lot anyways, and I was smoking while I was not sleeping either, so I was kind of just going even more crazy, not sleeping and doing drugs. But I had actually taken something, don't know what it was, I think I took like a small dose of whatever it was, but it was enough to make me break, right? So I remember I went home. A lot of things happened while I was on the bus home and on the walk home that were kind of like sketchy to me because I was in a paranoid headspace. So a lot of the things that were happening were like people were whistling, and I don't know if that was just cat calls or whatever. I'm not gonna assume that. But I remember like somebody driving by, and it didn't even sound like a cat call either. It sounded like a very long held whistle. It was very weird. So I just thought it was very weird. And I remember going home, and at the time I think I had broken my phone, so I was getting it fixed. And we were gonna go pick it up later, and we did. And I remember being paranoid of the people at the phone place, being like, oh, they're hacking into my phone, you know, they're gonna mess up all my messages, they're gonna message people that I don't want to message, you know, stuff like that. And so, hold on, I'm gonna smoke while I'm doing this. But so I remember getting the phone, going home, and being like, yeah, my phone is hacked. Like, there's people in my phone, I just know it. And so I don't really remember the events here because this is all blurry, right? But I remember being paranoid because I saw a letter for something, and thinking, I don't know what it was for me to think this, but I remember seeing a letter and being like, oh, somebody's kidnapped my dad and went to the park, and like he's holding them hostage, or like, yeah, they're holding him hostage. And so I don't know, man. And so I am like waking up the entire house. I'm like knocking on my sister's door, I'm knocking on my nana's door. I'm like, dad's gone, dad's gone. And my family's like, what are you talking about? My dad comes out, and and they're like, Kenzie, what are you talking about? And so I say, oh, there's people, like, I can't remember what I was saying. Basically, I was just going crazy, right? So, so I think they didn't corner me, but they basically cornered me into the kitchen. And I was on one side of the island and they were on the other. And they were questioning me. And I think one of the last questions they asked me was, "Are you on drugs right now?" And I said, "Yes." And I remember them being like, "Okay, we gotta go to the emergency room," or like, you know. So we get in the car, we go to the emergency room. They don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But I think they sedate me. I'm not sure. I can't remember, but I think they sedate me because I remember finally falling asleep. And I remember, like, in this, I can't remember if I was like half awake, half asleep, but I just remember like a lot of sequence of events. And my family would come and visit me one by one in the emergency room. And I remember thinking they were like not themselves, or like they were like, I don't know how to explain it. They were like not themselves. They were like other people that looked like my family members. There was a lot of that reoccurring theme in my psychotic episodes. But yeah, so I remember, and I remember giving them questions too, like, "Oh, are you really this who you say you are?" Like, I would like quiz them, and yeah, it was just weird. So eventually, I got some sleep. I remember waking up from the sleep in the emergency room, and I was like covered. This is also another thing. Um, I remember I was like, because I eventually fell asleep, and they didn't put me in a room in the emergency room or anything. They put me on a bed in the hallway. So on the bed in the hallway, I fell asleep, and they put like a little curtain, like curtain around me. But while I was asleep, I literally remember seeing my body, like I was like outside, like I was on the fucking ceiling or something. And I remember seeing my body and somebody, like some weird figure. When I say this figure looked like Zeus, like a Disney Zeus and a Disney Poseidon mixed together, it looked like that. Like a really burly white man with a burly white beard. But he looked animated. I don't know. It was weird. But he was showing me and my body on the little bed in the hallway, and there were these two women passing by, and they were laughing, not at me, but they were just laughing in general. And so I remember just having that like little vision in my head, right? And then I wake up, and I hear those two women laughing the same goddamn laugh and walking the same way, because I can see their shadows, right? And they're walking the same way, and I go, I wake up, and the nurse she's doing something, but I wake up and I ask her, "Am I dead?" She's like, "No, honey, you're not dead." And, but I just, like, after hearing their laugh and everything, I remember freaking out again, and just, I remember, because I was fine for like a good 5 minutes after I took a nap. And then I went crazy again, and then they had to take me to the hospital, like a psych ward hospital. But yeah, yeah, that, and from there, they got me a bed because the emergency room wasn't doing anything to help. They were like, "Oh yeah, we looked up some things. There's no beds available," and my family was like, "That's not acceptable. So we're gonna go find a bed," and they did. Got help. I was in the hospital for a month after that, and maybe I could tell you guys more stories on that too. You know, it's very fun. Not fun at all, but funny now. Anyways, that's it. That's it for this video, guys. Bye. I love you, Goose family. Day, night, and evening.